Where's our page? The topic is Shrek.
What? Let's see.
You know that cover image they used on the Star Trek con, where he's looking at the
Said
vial?
eel?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks a little weird, like it's out of place or something. You know, like
What do you
AI made it.
Oh.
His arm and holding it right in front of his face. Were they going for the Beatles thing, like with the apple in front of the?
I think they were trying to not show the face because you're expecting to see Ricardo Montalban's face, and
True.
obviously it's not going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a feeling that's what happened.
Oh, there goes.
I'm just guessing, but
yeah. Oh, yeah. I imagine they weren't trying to show it, but I did like the guy's voice that was doing it.
Well, he's from Lost, the series Lost.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Which I never really. It was lost on me.
Yes. Well, you know, when they talk about when the fans guess your ending and you deny that that's the ending, and then that's the ending.
It was a downhill slide, I'll admit.
Yeah, it was one of those big shows where they didn't. I think it got bigger than they expected. And they didn't have a
Didn't
good
think it
ending
through.
for it.
And then they blamed something like a writer's strike.
Who would do a thing like that?
Yeah.
All shows.
Did you see the not battle for Paramount Mountain, but the rebuilding of Paramount Mountain?
I've just been buried in this. No, I haven't.
The rumor is that Paramount Sundance is going to make a cash offer for Warner Brothers.
Well, Skydance, not Sundance. That's a whole nother kettle of fish.
Skydance. For Warner Brothers, which would include the DC universe and all that stuff.
Skynet, White Dance, something.
Well, the thing about these things is that it's ridiculous until somebody goes, okay.
Yeah, know? I'll bite.
Yeah, all right. That works.
It's stupid till it is. No.
So, right. No, I had not heard that. I will obviously be looking into that to see what's up with it. But I can't see. The only reason I can consider a possibility is because, you know, Warner, well, they had a hit with Superman. They're doing better than Paramount, but they're not like doing great.
Well, this whole year they've actually been and together. I think they've been pretty good. Warner Brothers has been doing pretty well. Not just Superman, but everything else they've done.
But also they're you know, they're clearly trying to figure out, they can't figure out, what do we call HBO this week? It's HBO. It's HBO Max. It's Max. No, it's back to HBO. Okay, sure.
That was a branding mistake.
It's the Cracker Barrel of Hollywood.
It's worse than that. They changed more than their sign.
Well, I was saying that the Minecraft movie, even it was Warner Brothers. Look how big it was.
Well, that's just because people like chicken jockeys, you know. So
I have no idea
what a chicken jockey is.
I mean, I do because they talked about it so much. I hadn't seen the movie. Have you watched it?
Have I watched it? No, I have not watched it yet. I was talking to my son Nathan about it, and he pretty much told me the whole entire movie, which was fine because I kind of was asking him, "What about this? What about that? What about the other thing?" And like, you know, and he liked it. He went at the time when all the people were dressing up to go to it, and you know, it was a crowd that was very much into it. That early on, he actually went to see it once, and then his friend said, "Hey, let's go to the movie. It's great. What are we going to go see? We're going to go see, you know, the Minecraft movie." Oh, okay. And so he went again. He said, you know, and this was still very early on in the run, that it was the same reaction at different theater, different day, different, you know, day of the week and everything. So I think it was, I don't know if it was all up front though, as far as the money was for the Minecraft movie, and did it tank after the people that were going to go
Yeah.
anyway went? I
Right.
don't know.
Are we ready to begin? We had a viewer and they left.
Oh,
The topic is
back.
Minecraft.
come
Topic was
on.
anything but.
All right, well, let me just get my act together here as best as I can. All right. Bear with me here. I'm just looking for one more thing in here. Just one more little thing. That's all. Just one more thing. There it is.
Make sure my sound effects are working.
Okay.
I did a little rewiring.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
It's so that I can leave the laptop on the desk over there instead of moving it over on this desk, which gives me a little more room on this table. But I am truly running it remotely. I don't have a plan B.
Internal scanner relays have
you should always have a plan B. Just say it's the same plan, but it's A and B. That's what I do. Yeah, I have a plan B.
Error.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I'm just a warning, not an error.
I have a plan B, and it's exactly the same as plan A. So if plan A fails, well, there you go. Okay, I believe I'm set.
Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
This is The Topic is Trek, episode 186 for Friday, September 12th, 2025. I have to look at the year. That's what's wrong with that statement. Coming up in this episode, hey, we're only 59. Star Trek is a bed of roses. I hear a theme song. Butterflies are free. All that and more coming up right now on The Topic is Trek. Everything is awesome. Welcome to The Topic is Trek, the podcast that runs on impulse power. Join us for a journey where no show has gone before. If it has to do with Star Trek, there's a good chance we'll talk about it sooner or later, because on this show, the topic is Trek. Engage already. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another thrill-packed edition of The Topic is Trek. I'm Clinton, your typo co-host here. It seems like I need a spell checker for my spell checking, because I have the title up here saying everything is awesome, and it's actually it's ever why thing is awesome. So that's, I guess we'll change the episode title to ever thing is awesome. Anyway, so to help me out, to stop me from having all these problems, I have co-hosts with me. And first of all, joining us from parts unknown, beaming in with the hip new catchphrase that well, he's here, I guess.
Let's get this done. My future self is waiting for a high five.
Okay, well, you know, that's got very limited use case scenarios, I think. But
well, you know, anytime I need to support myself, I'll go give myself a high five in the future.
I was going to say, I mean, you can address yourself in the future, but you have to wait to get there to go. What? Yeah. What?
Hey, 10-minute Craig. I got. So I'll have to wait 10 minutes.
More like 5-second, Craig.
And also beaming in to join us, although his voice is already here, so I don't know how that works. It's science. Is Mr. Chuck Tomashi?
I use the older transporters.
Ah, yes, we could just be
I
talking.
love on your opening graphic, not only was the typo, you had an extra T and an H in there, but the Lego minifig of Picard is like a regular minifig with no hair. It's just, you see the round Lego thing on the top of his
Actually,
head.
the little image you snapshotted, it looked like he was twerking or something.
Yeah, well,
All Legos look like that when they're standing up, but they're
I
slightly
want to
bent
have
at
that,
the
I want to
waist.
have them have that kind of like that Kirk turn towards the camera. You know, once
Yeah.
he's already face square headed. Well, that's not as interesting. It's like he's turning dramatically.
Yeah, well, you got it.
All right, nailed it. Yes. So how have you guys been? Well, we did something interesting since the last time we were doing an episode here.
That's right.
We're
We
all at
went to
Dragon Con.
Dragon Con. Yes.
Yeah.
And we had a very successful The Topic is Trek panel.
Our biggest audience ever.
If you were there, please be sure to rate us and give us 5s.
Both of you, please go rate us. Both of you.
No, you just got through saying it was well, maybe that was no, there was a
That was the biggest audience.
yeah,
What did that-
very big
oh.
crowd.
The Dragon Con app, I
Yes.
saw a post where you can still rate
Yes.
the things you were in.
Yes.
So
Well, as I'm saying, reminding people that now's the time to do it before they go, okay, that's the cutoff. We're not going to do that anymore.
I've already rated us 5 times.
Okay.
I've already uninstalled the app.
Let's see if you rate us
You're reinstalled.
5 and then the second time took it away and then put it back, took it away, put it okay, that's that might work out.
That's right.
Yeah, and so I wanted to also mention something really quickly, just in passing, not to be a downer or anything, but I just want to acknowledge that we lost somebody in the podcasting community.
Yes.
Not in the Trek community, but Todd Cochran, who you may know from Geek News Central or the New Media Show,
Blueberry.
or Blueberry, Raw Voice. He passed away unexpectedly earlier this week, and it's kind of he was an old guard in an industry that's only 20 years old to begin with.
No.
And so I just wanted to make sure that we acknowledged that we will miss him.
He was one of the people who inspired me to begin and change the trajectory of my career, my hobby, my life. So he will be missed.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, and look where we're at today.
That's
We're
right.
still podcasting after all these years.
That's right.
And the viewer count still says 0.
Well, that person is very
Some things never change.
that person was like setting us up to have us fall, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll my our condolences to Todd and his family,
Yes.
and friends. Yeah, he was as I've mentioned on Facebook, he was always willing to talk about really anything.
Mhm.
And we've had several conversations. Several conversations I did have to do some stuff with podcasting, and but he always had some good ideas. Sometimes you go, where'd that idea come from? But he's always willing to jump in and at least try to provide some direction. So I did appreciate that.
Absolutely. We were just talking about the Dragon Con for a couple of years. His company Blueberry also sponsored the digital media track, and we would see Todd there for that, and all the things that he bought that for his shelves that were like, well, that's an expensive thing, you know. So he goes, I know, once a year, and I just went crazy when I went in there. So one of us as well, one of us. All right. Well, with that out of the way, it's time to head out on our main mission. I've got main mission 1 here. We've actually got a second main mission. We're going to just chat about a new Star Trek version that premiered just this week, but we'll talk about that much later in the show. So we can head out on our main mission number 1. Let's see, who wants to read the details?
Well, we need an appropriate sound effect.
Oh, we do, and that ain't it. What the heck? It's getting worse. The internet's getting. What did we?
Somebody forgot to change the oil.
Did you put leaded in there or something? What happened?
Yeah.
It's only running on 3 spark plugs.
All right. Well, as an honor for having done that, Chuck, why don't you read the information about this?
Is that all it takes anymore?
That's all it takes.
Okay. Star Trek Strange New World, Season 3, Episode 7. What is Starfleet? Written by Catherine Lynn and Alan B. McElroy. Directed by Sharon Lewis. Here's the short plot synopsis. While aiding a war-torn planet, Pike and crew face scrutiny from a probing journalist.
That's imposed to a journalist that's on a probe, I guess. But,
Hey, the synopsis makes it sound like we haven't seen this character
Or a
before.
journalist that got probed.
yeah, but that's a whole nother. It's a genre that we don't want
Ugh,
to.
no.
So this was an interesting one because it was 2 stories in one, and we're used to having A plots and B plots, but like the A plot became the C plot, and the B plot is in the kind of going on at the same time,
Right.
because we start off with this being, we find out it's a documentary because the character Beto had no, Beto. I forget how to pronounce his name all of a sudden.
Beto.
Beto,
Yeah,
thank
Beto.
you. So Beto had talked about making a documentary, and we know that Uhura, ironically, for this episode, talked to somebody to say, "Oh, I can vouch for him. He's, you go ahead and trust him to do this documentary." And it looks like the documentary is going to be rather negative about Starfleet. He's asking these questions in the voiceover at the beginning about, what's the difference between a federation and
An empire.
an empire? And
Are you explorers, as you say, or what was it, warriors, as you display, or something, words to that
Mhm.
effect?
right? And talking about colonization, they both impose their laws and doctrines on others, and so you say, okay, this is going to take an interesting turn. And this is a second episode this season where we don't have standard titles. We have the title of the documentary, which is
Right.
the title of the episode, What is Starfleet? And then
Right.
it just says a film by, so I'm saying, because I don't remember what his full name is.
You don't know.
Umberto.
Okay, yeah, because it comes up later on a slide here. I just have to wait for it to roll around. Which do you guys want to talk about first? Going through not going through, but talking about the documentary aspect of it, or this war story that's going on?
I'm just going to take it from the top. I was just starting to get into the documentary thing, and then they started unrolling this war story on us. And
Mhm.
they showed stats about this side lost 9 million lives and this side lost 100. And I was trying to digest that, but they were saying things in between
Right.
that were pertinent to the show, and I lost myself losing focus of one of them. And I'm going, 5 minutes later, I'm going, where are we and how did we get here? So there was a
Yeah.
little bit of discontinuity in
Yeah,
the way that it was presented.
right. Because
I watched it a second time and I went, well, that was a little better.
Yeah, because you have the beginning set up for the war story part of it is there are these two worlds, and therefore these two peoples, these two species, the Lutani and the Kassar.
Right.
And so the Lutani were attacked by this planet Kassar, who wants to lay claim to the Lutani system. All right, so
we don't really hear much about the Kassar after that, because it
No.
all becomes about the
it's
space
all about the
loss.
Lutani. Yeah.
Mhm.
So
And
the Lutani are desperate because they've lost in the war so far. They've lost 9 million,
right.
and the Kassar have lost 119,000. So if you're going to give this an analogy, let's throw in the analogy of Russia and Ukraine kind of bit going on here. As far as just trying to get your mindset around this, that you've got people living here, somebody's coming in, there's a war going
Mhm.
on type of thing. So you had to keep in mind that, especially what happens in this episode, you had to keep in mind that, okay, the Lutani are the people that want to have this space creature because one of the ships attacks it, and we find out why, but still it's like, oh, okay, so that's the other guys. I thought that was the people that
Yeah. And,
what?
Yeah.
and somewhere in there, we got orders from Starfleet that we can't divulge all the details and you might not like the answer. What?
right. And well, that's supposed to show
Yeah.
that they don't question orders, and is that a good thing to question orders
Yeah.
or not? And when Ortegas and Uhura are asking about it, they say, well, that's on a need to know basis, classified. So they're in the dark, and Ortegas is particularly upset because apparently the Lutani have been raiding their shipping, and so they now we're going to be aiding them. And she goes, well, yeah, we're going to be aiding them because they're non-Federation world to begin with.
True. Yep.
But they're in need of aid and supplies. So he said, so
Mhm.
that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring them aid and supplies.
Yeah, I thought I did find it a little funny how classified everything was. That we were gonna that Starfleet was gonna. I was trying to keep the like Chuck said, try and keep everything straight in my mind because I was like, because I don't think we've really seen these races before or heard of them.
Nope.
No.
So these are new to us, and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to keep the. It's like the first time I read Lord of the Rings. You start reading all the names, and you go, "Who was that again?"
Who's the good guys and who's the bad guys?
Yeah,
And you're so happy when you come
Yeah.
across somebody named Sam. Oh, good. You know,
Yeah. Did they have to name Saruman and Sauron so closely
I
together?
know,
But anyway,
that throws me off all the time.
the topic is not Lord of the Rings on this show.
no.
Loader.
All right. So we have this story progress to another stage when we find out that this thing that the Enterprise has to go to get off this planet with this moon and bring to Lutani 7, which again is where the war is taking place.
The big moth.
Yeah, they've referred to it as a kaiju, which pretty much it is. It's a Mothra, but a little different than that. So this giant butterfly type creature leaves the planet, and they are told that they are to use a tractor beam to pull it along with them, but they can only go like half impulse power speed to get to where they're going. We don't know how
How
far.
does that work out for you?
Yeah, we don't know how far that is actually. So it's like I'm assuming it's in the same system
We'll
because
be there in 12 years.
yeah, hold on, we'll be right there. So yeah, that's why I have to assume that it was in the same planetary system.
Right.
Otherwise, they would never have any hope of getting it anywhere. And it decides, hey, look, I can actually fly off on my own. And suddenly it breaks its containment field and just takes off.
Hmm.
And I put down the technobabble reason for it. Sorry, Dr. Aaron. It might be perfectly normal. But
Hey, you could have asked her about it. We saw her.
yeah, well, what it did is it used it created its own supercharged magnetosphere using energized particles for propulsion. So there you go.
Like a solar sail.
Yeah, pretty much. And so they're trying to figure out what to do. And Lutani ship comes,
Humberto Ortegas.
Yeah.
There it is.
a Lutani ship comes along and starts attacking the butterfly, and they're going, what? Why is
Mhm.
that happening?
That's I found that confusing as well. Going, now wait, who are we rooting for and who are we
Yeah.
helping?
And
Right.
and I thought the butterfly was theirs, but it's not. Well, it's not a butterfly, it's a Jikaru. And the pilot is recovered after the Jikaru pretty much disables and ruins the whole, it just like obliterates the shuttle, which was a surprise to the Enterprise crew going, what? It does what now?
Yeah.
And the pilot was a doctor who said that we can't use the Jikaru. It was a mistake. It's wrong. It's wrong. We were wrong. Don't use this. And because this means nothing to Chapel and Mbenga, because it's like, is she delusional? Is she? I don't know what's going on here.
Right.
But yeah, it turns out that this Jikaru is very, very powerful. We don't know. We don't get a sense of exactly how powerful, but the first time it lays into the Enterprise, they're down to 40% shields after one hit.
And they were far away.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
So that kind of gives you a bit of an idea about that. Well, it turns out that the got to get my names right.
Lutani.
You're right. The Lutani had genetically altered this thing,
They weaponized it.
right, to only have it think about aggression and war. And they put what they said was a neural inhibitor, but apparently it's like a shot collar saying, no, don't think about anything else. Do this, do this, do this.
Right.
And the creature is in great pain. During the encounter where the Enterprise is hit,
Spock picks up some signals.
right. So he had been studying the meditations of Serac, and his Esper abilities were a bit raised. They decided to take a shuttle and try to communicate with the Jikaru.
And in between these, we still have interview segments.
Yeah, which they tend to get a bit lighter at a point, thank goodness, because you're trying to keep the story straight.
Well, until Spock gets zapped, they take a shuttle with Uhura, Chapel, and Spock out.
And generic red shirt.
And Yeah, the Lutani attack the what was it, Jakara?
Yeah, well, do they attack it or they just approach it this
Well,
time?
in any case, it
Yeah.
goes off. It does its discharge, and wreaks havoc on the Galileo, the shuttle that's nearby in its path, and you know, uh, Pike is being interviewed, and his question was, what was it? Have you ever watched somebody die, or have you ever had somebody under your watch die?
Well, I think it said, have you ever, I think he said, have you ever seen someone,
Right.
did someone die or had to kill someone, and what's that like? And Pike is just like stone faced at that point.
And basically said, if it happens to you, I'm sure you wouldn't want somebody asking questions about it.
Right.
Yeah, pretty
So
much.
it got a little dark at that point too.
Mm-hmm.
I did like his answer too. Have you ever disobeyed a direct order? He goes, you know, I gotta say, and he's just dragging this thing out for an eternity. That's classified.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can safely
Right.
say that's classified. Because I got a feeling like one of that whole Talos 4 thing. Never mind. They also interview Mbenga, and Beto is asking some questions that are hitting pretty close to home and like dancing around stuff that he did during the war and after the war, because he's pointedly asked, have you ever, altered, medical surveillance? Have you ever like wiped information away?
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes, I don't recall.
That's classified.
Yeah, I think I would have gone with I can't say or I don't remember rather than I mean to say it's classified than to say, well, I can't recall.
Yeah.
So that's
I'd start firing questions back like, interesting question. What makes you ask?
Yeah.
Right. Well, the fact that you're answering a question with a question makes me wonder.
The fact that you answer, I don't recall, makes it even more suspicious.
And we also get he's interviewing his sister and Uhura, which are awkward people to be interviewing because it's your actual sister and it's your actual quasi girlfriend.
What was she building? A motorcycle in her cabin?
Yeah, I
she's been
believe
working
so.
on
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
But like she's been working on it or something. Yeah.
I think we see it finished at some point.
She
Where
had
do
to
you
connect
ride
it
it?
to Tom Paris in his old truck.
How do you taste? How do you test it out?
What are you kidding? The entire you just clear the hall and it's
Right.
one big
It's
circle
the
you go
Usher
around.
section's a big racetrack, in my opinion.
Go
It's
on
very
the hole.
it's very slippery though, so you got to be
Yeah.
careful. Yeah. So those interviews are awkward because Ortegas doesn't want to really talk about stuff. I think with her brother, she doesn't want to talk about this stuff. And Uhura is very open about it, but Uhura is very light and very excited about stuff until it comes down to, oh, by the way, that friend of yours died on the Cayuga, and
Yeah, that stopped us in our tracks.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, he was doing all these tricks and so forth to get the information that he wanted, I felt like. And so we've come to, it's time to wrap things up. Long story short, they do end up communicating
Via
with
Uhura.
Hikaru.
Yep.
Right. Uhura does that because she is not as in tune to it as Spock is. And since it kind of really messed up Spock, maybe that would be better.
Mhm.
And finds out that the Hikaru reveals what had been done to it and that it really wants to just, I don't want to use words that will get us, but wants an end to that.
I understand. Pike is saying, I'm not going to risk another crewman. And she says, you don't have to. I volunteer. And the discussion is over.
Yeah, so you're still a crewman.
Right. I can still say no, but he doesn't.
He looks
what kind of
stumped.
veto is that?
And he looks stumped. He's like,
Ooh,
okay, well,
I
that
got
would never
nothing.
be.
yeah,
That one was in the
yeah.
WTF pile for me.
Well
Right.
played, Nayuta. Well played. And the Hikaru gets its wish, much to the chagrin of the Lutani.
Funny. Yep.
But they also set up because the Lutani's children, the babies, are still on that moon. And
Yeah,
Pike
they're
gives his
safe.
word that they will be, protected. So that's been set up as a no fly, no go, stay away from here type of place. But finally, Beto talks to Uhura, and she gets through to him about what Starfleet is, and that really he was using this whole documentary to try to find what's wrong with Starfleet because his sister joined and she had gotten injured, and it was Starfleet's fault. And then everybody's happy. I don't know. Then they all are eating together in Pike's quarters or something. I felt like I don't know if Starfleet would have approved all this footage if they knew that was the turn it was going to take. I mean, they didn't know that going in. You've got a documentarian saying, I want to make a documentary about Starfleet.
This wasn't on your permits.
But, to go from a documentary about Starfleet to be a possible critical documentary of Starfleet to possibly just, I'm working through some issues of my own, and I hope everybody's okay with that.
So let's give us our ratings. Who's first?
I'll go first. Let's see. How about Jakaru's?
Okay.
I was going to rate bug zappers.
Oh, stop that.
What? The big moth flew into the sun. It went poof. It was a giant bug zapper.
Fine. Watching with you, Chuck, watching this a second time, it made a lot more sense. The first thing I did was I wrote down the information about which of the species is which, so that I would not get confused about that later on, because I knew that was a point of contention the first time around. Made it a lot easier to deal with this episode. I felt it had a point to make as far as what Starfleet is and how some people do look at Starfleet, and this is the counterpoint to that. It's like, well, yes, we're supposed to be bringing this thing to this planet, but we really can't do that. So it has other wishes, and I'm just going to make the call to say we're going to do that instead. So I like that aspect of it. I'm going to give it a 7.5.
All right.
Let's go to Craig.
I'm going to give it a 7. At first, I watched it twice, and the first viewing, I was just like you guys. I was very confused, and then I was trying to understand the documentary style that he was using, and they were switching the cameras and stuff, which I ended up liking more than I did at first. So after I got used to it, I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And there's literally a camera in the arm of the captain's chair looking up. And
there's one looking down too, as we know from TOS.
Oh, yeah.
So
So if you can watch the captions on, not captions, but the
little time marks.
Little time marks.
Yep.
It tells you which camera it is, and was like Turbo Lift 2 or 2, Well, anyway, the documentary style grew on me as I watched it, and the second time I watched it, I liked it a little bit better because I think it made a little more sense, just like you guys. But it wasn't my favorite episode, so I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay. And what about you, Chuck?
I'm going a little lower. I'm giving it a 6.5.
Okay.
I shouldn't walk away from an episode going, I'm confused, okay, and have to watch it a second time to sort things like that out. There were other things like Uhura's override of the captain with "I volunteer." I thought that was utterly ridiculous, as well as, how secure is the captain's quarters when he's talking to number one privately on a conversation where the camera's sort of peeking around the corner. It's like, lock your door.
Yeah,
Well,
How'd that camera get in there?
Well, I thought about that, and I'm wondering, either is it one of the cameras that's there all the time?
It didn't have the special time marks like the ones on the bridge.
Then the second one would be, Pike says, okay, you can have one in the room, but I don't want to be bumping into this damn thing every 5 minutes in my face.
Yeah, because some of them were pretty close.
Right.
There were enough things in there that I went, yeah, like Craig said, not my favorite episode. Interesting approach. I credit Strange New Worlds for trying new things. I shouldn't have to watch it twice. I like the fact that they recognized the space butterfly as a sentient being and it was being tortured, so we were going to abide by its wishes and that whole thing. and watching the Lutani go down in flames, going, "Hey, we'll support you in other ways, just
Mhm.
not this way."
Hey,
Um,
also, by the way, would you not? Would you agree that I think they've been leaning on Spock's mind melds a lot this season.
Especially when, well, the original series, they didn't have it until they needed it, and then they started to use it. So
Yeah, it just seems like they've been weighing or leaning on it.
they're also tapping back into Uhura again.
Mhm.
Remember when she was singing to the crystal cave or whatever it was? So she's got the skills to be a communications officer more than just sitting at the switchboard going, incoming frequencies, Captain.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that fleshed out a little bit.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right. So that is our review of what is Starfleet. Never ask the question unless you want the answer, I guess.
Did we get an answer?
Be
Did
careful what
we?
you ask for.
I think we did.
42.
Yes, there we go. It's the answer to everything. So who needs a documentary for that? We're all
Right.
set.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
I asked you, what time is it? I don't.
Where have I heard that?
How can you? Well, does anyone really know what time it is? Anyway, let's
25 or 6 to 4.
Yeah.
let's come back from
play this game all day.
Yeah, let's come back from that main mission, shall we?
With
Yes,
an
please.
appropriate sound effect. Let's see. There we go. Beam me up, Scotty.
All righty. Well, now it's time to do Subspace Chatter, where we give some news. And there was a lot of news this week. We couldn't even get through all of it. And
Don't we have to ask Charlie?
well, that's what I'm saying. I'm just explaining what Subspace Chatter is. But in order to do Subspace Chatter, technically it's in his contract that we have to ask Charlie, name it Charlie X.
He's got a great representation.
Yeah, he's well,
Charlie X? Is he related to Malcolm X? Or did we already ask that one?
I don't know. You can ask him when he's not so surly. You can ask Charlie. So good luck with that.
Yeah.
So we have to ask his permission. Now, sometimes we get good Charlie, Mirror Charlie. Ironically, because Charlie is so not so good, Mirror Charlie is very nice, but we don't know who we're going to get. So I'm going to ask the question. Charlie, is it okay to go ahead with Subspace Chatter?
You don't need all that subspace chatter.
Oh, darn. Snap. I think he prefers to be called Charlie 10.
Oh, I did not have any idea.
I think we should take the odds which one we get to Vegas.
Indeed.
50-50.
They'll bet anything. I'm sure we could get some action.
All right.
on that.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Well, we start with the this is a little thing I'm just doing here because we got the announcement of on Star Trek Day for this year, which is the 59th anniversary of Star Trek. We started to get all this information about the plans for the 60th anniversary. Now, those of you who recall, the 50th had a mixed bag of things. We got Star Trek Beyond in 2016. There was a touring orchestra. I went to a performance in Boston where they were showing scenes from different Treks, and they were playing either music from that scene or entire themes of stuff. There were things in 2016, but every Star Trek Day since then, and it was only called Star Trek Day once they decided they were going to do this stuff. It's just the anniversary of the premiere of TOS, but now it's Star Trek Day, which is more inclusive. So they've been kind of lackluster in what they've done. So this year they announced that there'll be a whole thing for the 60th anniversary, and they showed the logo for it. And the thing that got me is that it seems so underwhelming compared to the 50th logo that they did.
Yeah.
The 50th logo, for those of you listening, it was in gold because that would be traditional for 50th. It has the Delta shield with a 50 in it, and then it says Star Trek, and all that is in the classic TOS font. And then there's lines through it that lead to like a reverse knockout of the profile from the top of the Enterprise, the classic Enterprise.
Right.
The new one still has Star Trek in the TOS font, 60 is in some other type of
Yep.
sans serif font.
So they
And
mix the fonts.
The zero in the middle of the zero is the Delta Shield, and it's got a sheen to it, like it's. I didn't look up what the 60th anniversary was as far as I don't know if that's like some precious metal that they're kind of emulating for a 60th. If anybody can look that up really quickly while I'm talking. So at first I was like, why would you do that? Because it was so grandiose. They even had pins.
Supposed to be diamond.
Okay. So
This is like the diamond. I remember the Queen's Diamond Jubilee.
this is the pin that they had, which was
It is
nice.
diamond.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess you're trying to represent diamonds, you're not gonna have it like look like it's got sequins on it. So I guess all right, that's
The
what we're
lithium
doing.
crystals.
But the more I thought about it, even though I'm not crazy about the text, the type treatment,
Mhm.
if you want it to be Star Trek Day and the 60th anniversary of Star Trek, the 50th logo really emphasized TOS,
Right.
right? And you need so much more than that now. I mean, okay, that's great if you the 50th anniversary, but if you came in at TNG or Discovery or what's the deal here? So this one now, aside from Enterprise, the Delta Shield is in everything. So it seems that if you tie those things together, I think that would be the concept of, okay, this just means the franchise, right? That's where we're recognizing 60 years of the franchise.
Yeah, you think about every episode they start now. They start with a ship flying around and making the shape of the Delta Shield. That's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, for the listeners, this is the kind of stuff that Clinton did for a living, wasn't it? Kind of designer stuff. So I can hear the font nerd coming out in you.
Oh yeah, it's a little too big too. I think if they just brought it down to like 3 more picas, it'd be fine.
If Clinton were really a nerd, he would tell you that's not the font, that's the typeface.
I know, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't. People go, what's he talking about? No,
Yeah.
it's kind of become the de facto.
So what would you have designed? What would you have made?
I think I would have leaned a bit more into the fact that it's supposed to be diamond, and first of all, I would have given a beveled edge to the type that's there to kind of you could put like the sheen on the side of it,
Right.
and
Kind
then
of like a diamond cut in places.
And then I would not use that particular typeface for
the numbers. It looks like you're watching the Channel 6 news or something.
Yeah, it doesn't strike me as
Right.
It doesn't strike me as futuristic. It doesn't strike me as current. It strikes me as it's there, and we can make the zero big enough and put the Delta Shield in it.
Maybe they used AI to generate it.
Well, that is indeed possible. I don't know. So I don't want to linger on that too long because we go to other news. But I just, when I saw that, I went, and then I went, well, okay. I mean, it's not the best treatment, but yeah, okay, I can see it. All right. So let's move on to what have you got for us, Chuck?
As we were talking about Star Trek Day, September 8th, 2025. This is a bit post-dated. Fans will celebrate Star Trek Day, which marks the 59th anniversary this year of the original series debut. To honor the occasion, a new scripted audio drama, Star Trek Khan, will premiere on major podcast platforms. Written by Kirsten Beyer and David Mack, from a story by franchise veteran Nicholas Meyer, the drama explores Khan Noonien Singh's life between the events of Space Seed and the Wrath of Khan. Oh, maybe we get to see the planets get realigned. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yes, I'm sure it ends with a bang.
An audio drama. Oh, the sun is bright today. Naveed Andrews voices Khan, joined by Ren Schmidt, Sonia Cassidy, Tim Russ reprising his role as young Tuvok, and George Takei returning as Captain Sulu. Oh my. The story follows Sulu, Tuvok, and Dr. Rosalind Lear as they investigate how Khan and his followers survived on Ceti Alpha 5 after exile by Captain Kirk. Beyond this project, Paramount confirmed that Star Trek remains a top priority, with second season of Starfleet Academy already greenlit ahead of its first season premiere. we will be reviewing the audio drama in upcoming episode of Topic is Trek. And later in this episode, we will be talking about the other thing that came out. It was announced on September 8th.
Mm-hmm.
So hang with us for that. Not going to
Right.
spoil it, but there's some cool stuff coming up.
All right. So get ready to set your phasers to build. Okay, that was stupid. Because
Talk about having things generated by AI, you guys.
And the appropriate person read it, I guess. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's after what seems like ages, Star Trek is officially beaming into the Lego universe. This is super exciting. First ever collaboration between Lego Group and Paramount, finally bringing the iconic world of Star Trek to life in glorious brick form. So a fun teaser video released on Star Trek Day showed off a Lego figure in Star Trek Next Generation uniform, which looks like Picard with a knot on his head. Which is a pretty good hint that TNG will most likely be the first series to get a brick treatment. Perhaps the Enterprise G or D. I can totally see that because it could be a big thing. Like
you have to read it like AI too. The Enterprise minus D.
Yes.
Enterprise minus D. Anyway, while we're all itching for more details, the official video description playfully set phasers to build coming soon. And for your Klingon speakers out there, the teaser gives us a little shout out. It says Tapa, which basically means it arrives soon. So hopefully we won't have to wait forever. We'll only imagine the amazing Starfleet ships and characters we'll get to put together.
Tapa? No, that's Vulcan. In Klingon it's
No, not.
Tapa.
Yeah. No, it's not T'Pau. It's
Tapa was that little group that had a one hit.
and by the way, I point out for most AI when it reads stuff, you would have also had to say even a LEGO Enterprise minus
Right.
D.
Yeah.
I was watching one the other day about Spaceballs, and the AI was doing a fine job up until they got to the combination for the luggage 1 minus 2 minus 3.
It's always fun to listen to those when they come to dollar amounts at $sign 2.0. You know,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Your web server might encounter a 404 message.
I was watching one today where they were talking about the Batman 66 movie,
Yes.
and somebody had just grabbed images like talking about Bruce Wayne. So you see Adam West for the first image of Bruce Wayne, but then we suddenly switched to the Nolan Batman Bruce Wayne for the other two images. Going, no.
Oh, that's
All
funny.
right.
What's next?
Next up is Star Trek will be partnering with Do Something. If you're not familiar with it, Do Something is the national hub for youth-centered leadership and services, focusing on topics like equality, justice, safety, and well-being. This joint venture will focus on another core Star Trek value, the environment. The Boldly Go Green campaign will be centered around making an environmental impact in multiple locations in celebration of Star Trek Starfleet Academy and Star Trek's 60th anniversary.
Very
So
nice.
I went to their site. They didn't have any details yet on how they're going to implement it. So we'll keep an eye on that one for later. Okay, Chuck.
All right. We're looking ahead a whole year. The Star Trek 60th anniversary in 2026 will be celebrated with a packed year-long fan-centric lineup as revealed on Star Trek Day, September 8th, 2025. Leading the festivities.
I think this one is just supposed to be about
Oh,
that thing.
that thing.
We're not going to talk about. We can talk about it all later if you want to.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it
So
later.
we'll skip ahead a bit.
Okay.
Paramount is rolling out a new series, including live-action Star Trek Starfleet Academy on Paramount Plus and Star Trek Scouts, an animated YouTube series for preschoolers. Both are already in motion with early releases and previews. In addition, Star Trek Con, we talked about that a little bit. So Star Trek Scouts came out. Are we talking about that here and now, or are we going to leave that for our second main mission?
We can do. Look, we want to do it now, and then we won't have a second main mission, but that's fine. We can talk about it now.
Since we're on the topic,
Since we're on the topic, and the
let's
topic
get
is
our
Trek.
quick reviews, our initial thoughts.
I will give you Bonnie's initial thought.
Yes.
And then after we talked,
Yeah.
and then after we talked about it for a while, and I explained to her what it was, it didn't change. Her reply was, "What the hell is that?" So,
I think we all asked that question.
for those of you who haven't seen it, these are very short, colorful, and computer animated. I wouldn't call them interstitials, although they say they're on Nickelodeon, so I'm not sure where they get placed. But the place you can find them right now is on YouTube, and they don't have their own channel. They're mixed in with other content on this channel.
Yeah,
First
which
time
is
I've ever
weird.
tried to go around in the kids section of YouTube. It's very frustrating trying to maneuver around through there. But so you're supposed to be learning something, I guess, during these things,
Right.
because you have three main characters. One is a Vulcan
With blue hair
with blue hair
and a
it's still-
mechanical arm.
yeah, still the bowl cut though.
Yeah.
You have a boy who I guess these characters, I was reading someplace that's supposed to be about 8 years old.
Yeah. He's not a
so-
captain yet.
right, and then you have another. So the female character, she is. I don't know the roles really. The only one I really understand the role for is the one who's sort of the captain, because he sits in, but everybody else like kind of moves around to the different controls and
Right.
does stuff. So I'm not quite sure if it's defined about what their different roles are on the show.
And then
But
they
we-
have some animal creature sidekicks as well.
yeah, we don't know if there's anything unusual about them other than they apparently can understand human speech. But we also get a very interesting looking Targ
Yeah.
that never seen that permutation of a Targ before.
Is that what that was supposed to be?
Oh yes, she scans it and identifies it that it's a Targ. It's a Klingon Targ.
Yeah.
Never would have guessed.
Yeah, because it looks like a little pug or something.
Uh-huh.
Well, the 2 episodes that I saw, I don't
It's
say
its
which
own-
I saw.
They've only released 2.
Yeah, they only. They
I only
had-
watched one. I was enough.
hey,
Well,
each
don't worry about
mission-
it. Don't worry about it.
Each mission, they had 4 minutes to do what they were going to do. I was like, am I watching the same one over again?
Well,
You know,
it's interesting that you say that, because the titles of these 2 episodes are Asteroid Blasters #1,
yeah.
Asteroid Blasters #2.
Wait till I wonder what the next episode will be.
I'm hoping it's not Asteroid Blasters #3. I thought it was very odd that, because I think there's supposed to be 20 episodes for this first season, and the rest of them won't come out till next year, which I thought, why would you do it anyway? That we'll skip that part.
Visually, it has a very Jimmy Neutron impact.
Oh, yes,
that's the first
absolutely.
thing that I
Oh.
felt like is like,
yeah.
okay, where's Goddard?
Yeah, we're having a conversation. Oh, all of a sudden, Ultra Lord is going to come by.
Yeah.
And look, there goes a llama.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I was saying in our chat was I was waiting for Sheen to show up.
Jimmy, can I sit in the captain's chair?
Don't do that, Jimmy. I'll do it instead. So if they have these other episodes in the can, and it appears that they actually have a ship on these 2 episodes, they're in a building on
Right.
Earth or some other planet. But it appears that, why wouldn't you release one that wasn't almost, because the premise is the same in both. There's a comet. The first one is a bar of soap, and the second one's a meatball. Spoiler alert.
I remember
to-
those episodes in TOS.
Yes. Well, that was my other
I
question.
am Kirok. That was the meatball one.
What I want to find out is, actually, I've come up with my own headcanon about the answer to this question, but it's like, okay, people thought it was tough to wedge the animated series into, canon. Good luck, pal.
I
Yeah.
I did have one thought as I was watching this, and it was kind of a Calvin and Hobbes thing. Maybe this is just the kids, because they were in that building and not really on a ship. I thought maybe they're just pretending, and this is our visual manifestation of their imagination.
They're in a holodeck.
Well, what I thought of is, to make it canon, is what we are getting from the future, maybe the 32nd century, just little things that's only meant for a toddler. That's it. It's only meant for toddlers. And it just kind of, gives them it's just a fun little thing. So
See-
we're seeing this thing, but it's not meant for us. It's meant
If
for
if
I'm-
I had grandkids in this age, 0 to 4 or 5, whatever, I'd put it on the iPad in front of them. Sure.
Yeah, because its target is toddlers to preschool, so that would be to like 4 or 5.
Well, then that's us.
Yeah, well, that's mentally is different.
Actually, that's disappointing to hear because I was looking forward to the crossover between this and Strange New Worlds.
Cue the fart jokes.
Well, Captain, if you had this dial here, like this Wheel of Fortune thing, it would tell you how to solve that problem.
Spock,
The
Spock,
kid
we're being-
JR.
Spock, we're being attacked by a bar of soap. What should we send at it?
Are you feeling all right, Captain?
Riker.
So what I was trying to investigate really quickly, and this came out this week, so I didn't get a chance to do much, but all right, if it's targeted at that age range, what else is out there that's targeted at that age range? And I think one of the things is Bluey.
Puppet babies.
Bluey,
Well, Bluey is
Paw Patrol.
there are parts of Sesame Street that are targeted at, this is the demographic for those as
Yep.
well. So I found, unless these other episodes we see, there's a pattern of emphasizing X in these things, you're not doing anything. You're identifying stuff that a kid would already know, like a rubber duck, a bar of soap,
Right.
a plate of macaroni.
There didn't seem to be any learning or there wasn't a lesson in here.
Yeah, and the teamwork seemed to be okay. The captain says to do something, they do it, and then they do something else. So I think I really hope, and we will revisit this,
Mhm.
next year when these other ones start to come out. I really hope that we're seeing the shallow end of a deep pool. No, your feet got as wet as they're ever gonna get. Believe
Yeah,
me.
your toe.
And I'm not saying I want it to be targeted to me, because I don't. I think
No.
it should be targeted at but kids aren't stupid.
Nope.
They can learn things. The channel that it's on, they have these talking
Yeah,
vehicles.
kids can learn things. Just look at us.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so with the
Not to
exception,
do.
but other kids can.
Yeah.
Don't be a podcaster, kid.
But this other show, which I think was aimed at a slightly higher demographic, because the kid was a little older in it and a little more like life, true to life rather than exaggerated features. But they were covering topics like which of these ramps will get me over the thing that I need to go to, this tall one, the short one.
Mhm.
It was having identify shapes, including a decahedron, and semicircles, and using a solar panel to recharge a battery. And I'm going, that's kind of what I was hoping we would get in this.
Right.
So we'll have to see. Maybe they're just starting out, and they'll get their tiny little legs later on.
This show needs an antagonist.
It does. Well, the Targ could suddenly go bad or something. I don't know.
If he ate the soap,
He did eat this. Well, he ate the bubbles from the soap.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So that is Star Trek Scouts.
do we have to rate those episodes?
I don't know.
Let's rate them on meatballs.
Do you want to rate them? Because we can do that. The question is, just like,
I'm willing to let this one slide.
Yeah.
yeah. Because to me, it's like, well, it's not really fair, because again, it's so far removed from us being the demographic for it that it's like, what are we possibly rating it on?
Right.
Yeah.
We are over 12 times the age of the demographic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I've now added into the show notes as another category. It's actually, I had to
Boy.
put it. I had Starfleet Academy as the next thing. I had to like, oh nope, now that's number 15 in the list of things that have been out. This is 14.
Here we go.
Exactly, Eric. Exactly. All right. So Craig, you are up next.
Okay. I'm sorry that I got a spider on my outdoor webcam. It looks a little creepy. All right. So the Star Trek
Shouldn't we call that it?
the Star Trek franchise is zooming into the digital comic space
Mm.
with a fantastic new partnership, Webtoon. That's right. You'll be able to dive into all new original Star Trek stories right on the service. Imagine your favorite captains, crews, and aliens popping up in vibrant, scrollable adventures, perfect for reading on the go. While we don't have any specifics on new tales yet, the promise of all new original stories means that our imaginations can just run wild and we'll figure something out. It's it's also an exciting way to celebrate 6 decades of exploration and storytelling, bringing the vast Star Trek universe to a whole new format and a new generation of readers. So keep your eyes peeled in 2026 for some seriously cool digital comic adventures.
I'm
Now,
celebrating 60 years of just getting out of bed every morning.
now, Craig, you are a comic fan.
Yeah.
Do you do like web comics? Are we familiar already? Because it's a very much an existing thing. With Webtoon.
Yes, I saw it I've seen it a long time ago, but I haven't used it in the equally amount of time. So it looks like a lot of anime
Yeah.
or manga rather kind of stuff. So I'm interested in checking it out. I think I saw it when it first came around and thought, oh, this is pretty cool, but no, I'm not familiar with it at all.
Okay. Yeah, I went to their website, and the front page of the website is what I would call very corporate, not really webtoony at all. They've got some
Yeah.
video on there, but it just is like, here is our mission and blah, 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 that type of stuff. Oh,
It said
okay.
trending, popular, popular series by category. I'm like, but you scroll through it, it looks like I'm looking at a manga catalog. So
Yeah.
this is all new to me. Well, I
Apparently,
mean, I got nothing against manga, but just
No.
saying.
and I think now you can get digital versions of Star Trek comics, as we know. So it's not like you can't do that, but I have a feeling that the webtoon stuff is probably more designed for that medium and therefore handles storytelling differently
hmm
when they're doing stuff.
I may have to install it just to check it out.
Yeah. You could have action frames and so forth rather than just the still
Oh.
images.
Here's some Star Wars stuff too. Well, okay.
Well, we'll be there soon enough. So there you go.
Hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next story. We're still, by the way, this is still things that were announced for the 60th. So there you go. This one is the 60th anniversary celebration actually kicks off right on January 1st. Trek will have a custom float in the 2026 Rose Parade. I keep saying a Rose Bowl.
Cool.
It's the Rose Parade,
Yeah.
which is held every year in Pasadena, California. The annual event features elaborate flower-covered floats, spirited marching bands, and more along a 5.5-mile route. So Dragon Con is nothing compared to that. 5.5 miles.
Yeah.
According to CBS, the quote, innovative float design will reflect values of hope, inclusivity, saw it coming, didn't get it right, exploration, and unity, and will spotlight the upcoming new series Star Trek Starfleet Academy while honoring 60 years of Star Trek. The parade is scheduled to begin at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on January 1st, and will be broadcast on TV as well as on multiple streaming services. Streaming services.
I hope they don't do
Streaming
like a
services.
version of the TOS Enterprise with the nacelles kind of half hanging off. Like
No, well, yeah, more like Kirk's play, but just kind of jettison the nacelles into the crowd.
I'm imagining the lady from the Strange New World Shadowcast that we watched running around the parade.
Yes,
hanging off her waist
Yeah.
and a big
Yeah.
pizza hat. Yeah.
That's what it is.
well, her name, Sarah Rose.
No, that was not Sarah Rose.
That was the director. There was
Director. I'm sorry.
but that would be yeah. I think Sarah should.
Oh, you mean the one that was
Dressed
running
up
around
as the
dancing
Enterprise.
as
Yeah.
the Enterprise? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
All right, so we'll hopefully. I don't watch the Rose Parade every year. Bonnie is always intent on watching the Rose Parade, and then realizes it's the morning on after New Year's Eve, and she goes,
Do we still have a TiVo?
yeah, I don't know. There's something about watching a parade after it's over, aside from Dragon Con, of course,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem as interesting. I think because you can fast forward through the stuff. It's like, I don't want to see this
Skip
part.
the commercials.
Yeah.
Skip the.
Oh, the commercials, I have no problem with that.
Oh,
The-
look, here comes Pikachu again.
Yeah.
The Macy's parade is the biggest part that bothers me is the lip syncing to the music.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I've
They're
seen one-
holding microphones that clearly have an XLR cable plugged into them, but cut about 2 inches
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Like that's supposed to look like a wireless mic.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. It's a wireless microphone. Well, I've seen one or two people actually sing, but yeah, mostly it is lip sync.
Yeah. I used to look forward to that parade when I was a kid, just to see if the things I was interested in were represented there,
Hmm.
or what else they,
Yeah, the
show.
last time we watched it, there were new balloons in there that I hadn't seen, and you still have Snoopy and you still have Pikachu and
The
all those types
Grinch.
of things in there.
Yep.
All right, but the topic is not the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah.
The topic is Trek. So, Craig, what do you got?
Tell us about something that's not Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
By the
Well,
way, yes.
it's related. It's trick
You know.
related. All right. So I didn't notice this on the first pass.
And no reason you should have.
Yeah, I don't think anybody did, or especially us three. So in a delightful nod to keen-eyed fans, Doctor Who, the iconic TARDIS, made a subtle and brief appearance in Strange New Worlds, the episode called the Shallot who ate its tail. Sailot, excuse me, that ate its
Some
tail.
Trekkie you are.
Don't make me come over there. If you remember, the USS Enterprise is in a bit of a pickle, trapped inside of a colossal ship-eating monstrosity known as the Astrovore, or Chatka, as the Klingons were calling it.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah, Ruh-roh. Yeah, that's how you pronounce that. So, who should pop up in the background right behind the Enterprise, on the bridge?
Just off the bridge.
Just off the
Side.
bridge. Yeah, it was off to the
You can
side.
see in the background, teeny little blue box.
Yeah, I actually went back and looked and I found it. But that familiar blue box that suggested Doctor Who also found themselves in a sticky situation. It seems even time traveling Time Lords aren't immune to galactic digestion. Burp.
And we've talked before about this back and forth between Doctor Who and Trek. Reference here the sonic screwdriver, finds its way sort of into Trek. Then you have the comic where they met up together, and you have references to when they rebooted the series. There was a mention of Spock. I forget if it was Rose in that one saying, the way you talk, you remind me of Spock. And he's going, who's Spock?
Yeah.
And then the most recent Doctor, when the companion says something about, oh, you mean doing this thing like in Star Trek, in Starfleet, or with the transport, he goes, oh, we should go visit them sometime.
Yeah.
So like that's an actual thing
Yeah.
in that universe. So this just goes, and I think it's because it's fun to have. I was actually playing. I'd forgotten this happened. I was playing the video game of the Lower Decks, and you have these kind of like these side missions you can do that
Yeah.
bring you some extra points. And all of a sudden, the 10th Doctor shows up with the TARDIS and a Dalek. They did a thing that was a crossover, but apparently it just stays with the game. So if you're playing the Doctor Who one, suddenly Boimler and Mariner show up. It's just like Strange New Worlds. Boimler and Mariner just go everywhere.
Time and relative dimension in space. I think it can be done.
Yeah, that's
I'm equally representing. I redecorated the studio background, so I've got a Dalek and some Star Trek memorabilia. So yeah, it happens.
It happens.
The Dalek came with the house,
As did everything else.
as most Daleks do.
If somebody asked, it was like that way when you got there. Okay, so
Liquidate.
it all must go. Everything must go. Crazy Eddie says, no, the Crazy Eddie didn't do that kind of thing. Let's see. So looks like
Says you're next, but all you have is links. Go for it. Wing it.
Yeah, well, let me get the graphic up here, because what we've got is a story about the fact that, and I'll read this directly off of trekmovie.com because it'll be faster to do it that way. Once again, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is performing well, returning to the Nielsen's top streaming chart for season 3 premiere. Paramount Plus may be ready to say goodbye to the series, but it appears viewers are not. The Nielsen Top 10 USA Original Streaming Program chart, wow, that's very specific, for the week of July 14th through 20th, released today, and that was a couple of days ago, includes Star Trek Strange New Worlds. This chart week includes the release of the first 2 episodes of season 3, which is, of course, were Hegemony Part 2 and Wedding Bell Blues, which dropped on Paramount on July 17th. Strange New World ranks 7th with 471 million minutes viewed, which is a new record for the series.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, the second season of Strange New Worlds made the top 10 list in all but 2 weeks of its run in 2023. Yeah, you know, I say this about Lower Decks, and I can say it about Strange New Worlds. Yeah, it's a good thing they canceled these shows, because who was watching that ridiculous thing?
Terrible numbers.
No,
Yeah.
it's awful. So essentially, it is still doing very well and possibly gaining an audience as it barrels towards its inevitable conclusion and cancellation. It's really, really odd to think about that. All right. And what else do we have here?
Hey, they can always reverse the cancellation.
They can, but it probably would be really tough to do at this point, because
The
I think they
storyline's already fleshed out.
Yeah, I think if they're already starting to film, I'm sure season 5 we only got 6 episodes, are probably all interwoven to get you to what they say. The last thing you get to is Kirk on bridge.
Oh, Kirk on bridge. Yeah.
Right. So the Kirk is now taking over
Again?
command of the ship.
I'm kidding.
Well, for real this time. For real.
Spoiler alert: Kirk is a captain.
Oh,
he really wants that Farragut position.
yeah. Really, really, really.
Oh, I
So
thought
they
he
could-
wanted. I thought he wanted a ferret.
No.
Yeah,
That's why he's there all the time on the Farragut. Yeah.
I think the Farragut just shadows the Enterprise, stays behind them.
It's an ambulance chaser.
So our last story.
Cerritos would do that.
Okay. Craig, is this Craig or
I'll
Chuck?
take it.
Okay. So, okay.
Since
And
we
I'm
were
not-
speaking about Star Trek Lower Decks,
And I'm not sure if we covered this one before, but I don't mind covering this a second time if we did. So there.
Hugo Awards. Star Trek Lower Decks achieved a historic milestone at the 2025 Hugo Awards, earning the franchise its first Hugo victories since Star Trek Next Generation concluded in 1994. I think I got a couple of references in there that I got to clear out. Womp. Okay. Anyway, we'll edit later. The episode, the new Next Generation. I don't think I'll ever say that right.
Great.
From
Which would-
season 5, won Best Dramatic Presentation, Short Form, a prestigious recognition of its storytelling and creative execution. Don't say execution to an old person.
Stop that. Crossing the
Sorry.
street. again.
I'm still having flashbacks to Dragon Con. Short form, adding to the triumph, the Choose Your Own Adventure graphic novel, Star Trek Lower Decks Warp Your Own Way, written by Ryan North, with art by Chris Finoglio. We'll go with that. Captured the Hugo Award for Best Graphic Story. This dual win not only celebrates the show's on-screen success, but also acknowledges its expanded storytelling in other media. Series creator Mike McMahon accepted the award for the episode and expressed his heartfelt gratitude for being recognized by the community he deeply admires. These recognitions signal a significant renaissance for Trek, underlining Lower Decks' impact and its role in reinvigorating the franchise with fresh, award-winning content.
Congratulations, you're canceled.
Yeah. Poor
We don't need more awards.
Bless their hearts.
So we're going to wrap it up with one more story, which I found, interesting. A bit of trivia, I guess now, because this didn't end up happening. But recently at the annual Las Vegas Star Trek convention, actor Simon Pegg revealed some behind-the-scenes details about his time with the franchise. Pegg, who also co-wrote Star Trek Beyond, said that he and fellow co-writer Doug Jung had planned a spin-off movie centered on Jayla, played by Sophia Boutella. Yeah, Butila, right? That's right.
We
Uh,
all win.
Yes. The movie, tentatively titled Jayla and the Wolf, would have followed Jayla as she enrolled in Starfleet Academy. The plot would have featured Jayla and a group of problem cadets on an adventure to the real life planet Wolf 359.
Oh,
But
I see
wait.
how that goes. I was
Yeah.
suddenly Tchaikovsky was going through my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that. I put in here the tentative title. Simon Pegg did not put it that way, but I'm thinking it probably would not have stayed that as the title. The project was never made, and Pegg attributed this to the poor box office performance of Star Trek Beyond. But he also dropped this as well. Pegg also noted that he and Jung had more freedom to include references to the original series as they went along in these movies, because now they're at the third movie and they can kind of, even new people are a little up to speed on stuff and what's going on.
Sure.
He said that they would watch episodes of TOS for inspiration and to put the small details to include in the script.
Mhm.
One idea that didn't make the cut was a callback to the first film about Admiral Archer's prize beagle and Scotty accidentally teleporting the Admiral Archer's beagle into oblivion. So what happens is, he didn't say where, but they're in some scene and all of a sudden just and a beagle shows up.
Yeah.
It was in the pattern buffer. What a great idea. I think I'll go there.
So I don't think he didn't say if they even explain it, if you just kind of see it suddenly happen and they move on. But I thought that would have been a great, you have to make it an Easter egg for those who would get it.
Yep.
And this is always the balance. But if you don't know what it is, you don't go, what the heck was going on? You don't give a Bonnie's, what the hell was that?
Another t-shirt for Bonnie. We're up to 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was fun to possibly have seen that. I wish we could have seen it.
Yeah. Hey, we could still see that somewhere.
Well, that is true. That is true. All right, but that I believe wraps it up here.
Yeah.
We're
Except for your 3,000 links.
yes. Well, I've got even more to throw in there, so I didn't even count yet because we had all these other stories that we could have covered. Let's see, what didn't we cover? Well, let's see. There's a video game coming out that is kind of a horror video game. There's talk about Star Trek, the Star Trek universe is going to be coming to Comic-Con New York, upcoming in October. The funding is now complete, and they are going to make the Klingon battle cruiser, just like they did the all metal Enterprise and then Enterprise refit. We have a person in charge of the streaming services who is on Paramount Plus, who is a Trek fan. How about that?
Ooh, that's encouraging.
Somebody that can fight for us.
Yeah.
So we'll have links to all that stuff, including the Gorn action figure that you can get, not actual life size. Don't worry about it. And over
New Gorn,
in
old Gorn.
old Gorn,
Okay.
there's no Gorn like an old Gorn. And there'll all be links in the show notes for this episode 186. Everything is awesome. Over on The Topic is Trek.
That was our first bell of the show.
Wow.
Wow.
And now it's time to end the show. So it's time to refill the dilithium chamber and try to warp on out of here.
Wait, whoa.
What?
What?
Charlie.
Oh,
We never shut Charlie out.
Yeah. You just gonna leave him sitting around?
We gotta dispatch Charlie.
do we
Yeah.
have to talk to him again? I was kind of hoping no one would. Okay. All right. So it's time to say so long, Charlie.
I want to stay.
Mirror Charlie showed up there. Why is Mirror?
Wow, Craig, that was very considerate of you.
Yeah. We don't want him sitting around until next
Don't
time.
leave your Charlies lying around. Put
Yeah.
your Charlies away when you're done with them.
Right.
Mr. Rogers says when you're done playing with your Charlies, get those moved away. All right.
got a Charlie in the box.
Charlie in the box.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see if we get it Christmas
Ooh,
time.
we are all over the place on this one today.
Yeah, the topic is whatever we're thinking of at the moment. All right.
Yeah.
So you can find me, Clinton, over at the topic is Trek. Of course you can, because you're listening watching that right now. What am I? It's time
Right
to end
here.
the show. Charlie, you threw me. Charlie, what did you do to me?
20 years. 20 years.
I'll get it right someday. You can find me at Comedy Forecast, all one word with the number 4. And in the next couple of days, I'll be resuming Dog Days of Podcasting, but it will be rebranded as Dog Days of Pumpkin Spice Season.
There
Just
you
to,
go.
just to finish that off. And who speaks for you guys?
Go ahead, Chuck.
You can find us by searching for Technorama Podcast anywhere on the internet. Craig and I do a show roughly weekly, Sunday nights, comes out on audio form on Wednesdays, where we talk about nerd stuff, tech, science, sci-fi, and whatever's on our mind, with a bunch of pop culture references thrown in for good measure.
Meet
So-
all comments.
Not unlike what's happening right here.
That, folks, right there is why none of us are in the Podcast Hall of Fame yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
We might be, if you ever see us in the Podcast Hall of Fame, it's because we're sweeping. That's
Posthumous.
Hey, I wake
sweep.
up at 6 every day. You sweep on your own time.
Right.
Alrighty. It's time to hit the theme, boys.
This one,
That's it. If you like the show, please be sure to tell a friend about it and get me some mouth lessons and subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Blue Sky at The Topic is Trek. Visit our Facebook page, or you can call us. That's right, at 816-TREKKER, 816-873-5537. Until next time, on behalf of Chuck, Craig, and myself, I'm Clinton, thanking you for listening. And as we always say here on The Topic is Trek,
don't
put
put
on
on
the
the
red.
red shirt.
Was he smoking there?
And don't smoke in the holodeck. That's right. Don't do that.
Done.
Yay! Beep. All right. Well, thank you for watching, and hope that it was coherent in most places this time around.
Entertaining, maybe.
So next time we'll be talking about. We've got 3 episodes of Strange New Worlds left, and what we may end up doing, we'll talk about this, but what we may end up doing is 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds, and then the week after that, last episode of Strange New Worlds, and then we can start talking about Khan, because we're going to cover Khan as that series is progressing as well.
Yeah.
And we'll also have other stuff. We've more books coming up, and we'll give you some advance notice on the book as well, so that you can read the book too if you want to before we start talking about it. All right, but thanks, and we will talk to you all later.
Thanks, everybody.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.